queens and heroes acting out there on the silver screen. Come grab a seat, the popcorn is on me.
Hello and welcome to Meet Me at the Movies. Noel T. Manning II here hanging out with Thomas Manning. And if you hear this kind of stuff going on that sounds like Snots the dog from Christmas Vacation, that's Thomas. He's having
it actually is. It actually is Snots the dog. We have him in the background today. So, yeah.
That's right. Well, we appreciate you guys spending time with us, and I love my movie mugs, and if you're watching this on TV, you will see that I've got a movie mug that says Die Hard is a Christmas movie. And today we're not talking about Christmas movies, but we're giving you a summer preview. And I say summer preview because one of these films is already out by the time you're watching this. But we may even go the route, Thomas, that many film franchises, especially those that start in summer, become franchises, and you have a sequel. So we may have a sequel to this. We may do like a part 1 and a part 2. We'll just see. We'll see where we get. So just stick around. So if the movie that you're wanting to see we haven't talked about, hang around. We probably will. And if we don't, just email us. Look at the bottom of your screen there, info@c19.tv. Info@c19.tv. Well, Thomas, I'll let you start.
You can blame it on Greg Tillman. Or no, actually not anymore. You can't do that anymore. So
he's not here anymore.
Never mind.
He's not here. Well, man, why don't you dive in with the first film on our summer preview for Meet Me at the Movies. And this is one in theaters. And I will say, if you want an extended review of this, check out the link at the bottom of the screen. And we'll also have the link online that you can check out an extended review of this movie as well. We're talking about the guys are back with their cars, with chaos, mayhem, and the sins of the past are coming back to haunt Vin Diesel and his family with FastX.
That's right. This is the 10th installment in the Fast and Furious franchise. However, the 11th, if you count Hobbs and Shaw, Fast and Furious Presents. And here we have a villain from Dom Toretto's past that, he doesn't even realize that he's wronged this person, but he did wrong this person's family. And we all know how important family is in the Fast and Furious franchise, regardless of which side you fall on. If you're the heroes or the villains, it's all about the family. And if you mess with one person, you mess with the entire crew. And so Jason Momoa comes in as this installment's just over-the-top Joker-esque villain who really just wants an excuse to cause as much havoc and just destroy as many institutions as possible, and that's what he does, and he has a fun time doing it, and for us, the audience, it's fun to watch as well. So
absolutely, the movie May 19th is the official release date, so if you're watching us past that date, check it out. It's in theaters, and also the preseason kicked off, Thomas, just a few weeks ago. I want to make sure I mentioned that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and I say the preseason because the summer box office officially starts now at the beginning of May and goes through Labor Day. It used to start Memorial Day, but ever since we've started having these earlier films that even kick off in April sometimes, they fuel that summer box office. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in theaters, FastX also in theaters. And Thomas, you gave that. Go ahead and give your quick rating for that, and they can, again, check out the full review at the link that we'll post.
Yeah, solid B for FastX.
All right, solid B for FastX. Well, anybody who has grown up with Disney in the past few decades will know that Disney loves animated musicals, and in the past few years, they found ways to bring these musicals back to life through live action. That is definitely the case this summer with a reimagining of The Little Mermaid, and the original was, a 1989 Oscar winner. And this film is already getting really good buzz. They've already had some early screenings of this film, and you and I got invited to see this. We did not get a chance to go, but it's one of those where they wanted families to come, and so they know that buzz is going to grow. So the Little Mermaid, the reimagining, a live action musical, May 26 is the release date for that, just in time for Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, I really don't have much of an emotional connection to the original Little Mermaid, so this isn't one that's like on the top of my summer list, but it is going to be for a lot of younger viewers out there, and I really do think it's pretty awesome what they're doing with a more diverse cast, and having younger audiences out there that are seeing representations of themselves that they haven't really seen these characters before. So I think that's really cool, and of course Javier Bardem and Melissa McCarthy just looks like they're having a lot of fun with it. So I'll probably get around to it at some point, but it's definitely going to hit its audience where it needs to. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, Thomas, what else is on your list as we're looking chronologically down that release time frame for the summer movie box office?
Yeah, so coming up, first week of June, we have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the long-awaited sequel. I guess it's only been 5 years, which isn't that long for some sequels, but for this one, I think all of us wanted to see the next installment as soon as we walked out of the theater of Into the Spider-Verse back in December 2018. That was one of our favorite movies of that year, one of our favorite movies of the decade, and here it looks like they are continuing to just delve deeper into advancing the art style and advancing what you can do within the medium of animation. And then some of the talent, so there are 3 co-directors on this film. You have Joaquin Dos Santos, Kemp Powers worked on One Night in Miami and the Pixar film Soul, and then also Justin K. Thompson. And actually, a couple of these directors, this is their directorial feature debut. So, trusting them with that material, I think they have a lot to carry on their shoulders, but they do have a very extensive background in animated storytelling and in art departments. So I think just based on the trailers that we've seen, it looks like it's going to be another home run, and a great voice cast. In addition to what we had in the first one, we have newcomers Oscar Isaac, Daniel Kaluuya, Karan Soni, and Jason Schwartzman, among others. And I'm just absolutely pumped for this one, as I'm sure you are as well.
Yeah. I remember when we saw that first one, I was just completely blown away, not just by the animation, but also the storytelling, and getting a chance to see the multiverse in this way before we actually saw the multiverse in the live-action Marvel films was wonderful, was absolutely wonderful. I loved the humor in it. I loved the dialogue. So very happy to be seeing this version, this sequel coming to theaters, and that date is June 2nd, so we do not have long to wait. And if you're looking for more franchise films, we've talked about it, Thomas, that's what the summer is filled with, and it is fueled by. They really hope to make the money and make these things happen. You and I have been hit and miss on the Transformers franchise. Transformers is coming back to the screen with The Rise of the Beast on June the 9th. And, I think back to that first film in 2007. So we're, not far away from being 20 years since the film franchise started. Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox in that one, and so many sequels, and even a spin-off. And we thought we were going to be seeing more spin-offs when we saw Bumblebee. And you and I think we were both really in love with Bumblebee, with that film, what they did and how they did it in a kind of a retro way. But for some reason it did not click overall with audiences. And I will definitely say that the last Transformers film as a whole didn't click with me. It was just a bunch of noise, a bunch of chaos, and I just walked out going, if I never see one of these again, I'll be okay with that. But then when Bumblebee came out, I was like, okay, well, maybe they've got something. So and Bumblebee came out in 2018, just to put that in context.
So this is same month as Spider-Verse, actually. Right.
And maybe that had something to do with its lackluster box office, but this one, I will check it out. It looks like they're trying to do things a little bit different, but want to get your thoughts on Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Yeah, so going back to the Michael Bay Transformers films, I would say maybe 3 out of those 5 I found enjoyable to one extent or another. But The Last Night, which was Bay's last Transformers movie, was just, that was one of the most just like dumbfounding cinematic experiences I've ever had. I remember just looking over at you as the credits started rolling, looking over at you and my mom, and like, what did we just witness?
Right.
So
Right.
so I was kind of about ready to call it quits at that point, but then we had Bumblebee come out a few years later, and you and I, as you mentioned, we both adored that one. The whole family loved that one. It was very character driven and tapped into an emotional well that none of the previous Transformers films had managed to do. And that relationship between Haley Steinfeld's character and Bumblebee was just very sweet, very wholesome.
Yeah.
So I would like to see more stories of that nature in the Transformer universe, but based on some of the marketing that I've seen for Rise of the Beast, it does kind of look like it's going back to that, I guess, gobbledygook type, just mass mayhem, mass destruction. But I do want to give it a chance, and I'll give it a watch. And also, I do want to mention the director for this film is Stephen Capel Jr., who directed Creed 2, which was a film that I quite enjoyed.
Right.
The middle chapter in the Creed trilogy with Ivan Drago back and his son, and that faced off against Adonis Creed. So he did a great work with that film. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I do think this is going to be a pretty well-directed film, if nothing else, even if the script is lackluster. Right. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, Thomas, the name of this movie is quite appropriate to kind of what's going on in the background. It's Rise of the Beast. I don't know if you've got a beast close by that you can pick up and raise up to the camera. I'm not sure or not, but maybe we'll do that after the break.
He just stepped out of frame, but I'll wrangle him during the break. So.
Well, we are going to take a quick intermission right here on Meet Me at the Movies. When we come back, we're going to continue talking about summer preview for films that you may want to check out this summer at the box office. And if you're keeping track, we are now up to June 16th. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about a superhero film that's not a Marvel, not an MCU film, right after this quick intermission.
Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch a...
Hi, I'm Deb Harden, host of For Your Information. The goal of our show is to educate and entertain you about all things pets throughout Cleveland County. We have various guests joining me each month to talk about dogs, cats, pigs, whatever kind of pet you can think of. Also each month, we will be joined by some furry friends looking for their forever homes. For Your Information each month right here on C19 TV and online at www.c19.tv.
Between your job, your family, and other demands on your time, life can get pretty hectic. So we want you to take time for yourself. Hi, I'm Jennifer Harrell, and I want you to join me for your health. Each month, the Cleveland County Health Department and C19 TV will explore topics that affect you and your family's health. We'll discuss the importance of exercise, a healthy diet, and regular health screenings and checkups. From fitness tips to warning signs to the latest healthcare news. For Your Health will help keep you in shape and up to date in Cleveland County. We want you to be your best, so join us each month for Your Health, right here on Spectrum Cable and online, c19.tv.
Welcome back to Meet Me at the Movies. Noel T. Manning II here, along with Thomas Manning, and we are talking summer preview part 1. I think it's going to be part 1 for films to come. Right before the break, we did talk about Transformers: Rise of the Beast, and I think you might have a beast. Yeah, I see that little beast right there. Rise of the Beast. Hey, what is that? Oh, look at that. That's Oscar. Oscar. That's right. We even Thomas and I received an Oscar this year, and so we're really happy to have that, and we're honored. And we'll give the Oscar speech a little bit later. But yeah, that's our new family member we've had for a short while now. Well, Thomas, we are talking summer movies, and we are up to June 16th, and this is one of those films, Thomas, we've been looking forward to for a long time. There's a lot of stuff that's been happening off screen, behind the scenes, that really, I think, got us wondering: would this be a film that we would ever be able to see? With the chaos of what was going on with one of the acting talents, caused this film to be put on a shelf, and that has not happened. The film is moving ahead, and there's been tons of pre-buzz about this because many people have already seen this superhero film.
Yeah, so you look back at the beginning of the DC Extended Universe, or whatever acronym they use for it. Back in 2013, we had Man of Steel, and then right around that same time, they announced it was going to be building toward a Justice League, and we were going to have a Flash standalone movie. So that's a decade ago, basically, the origins of this project. So finally, we do have the Flash, and Andy Muschietti is directing this one. Andy directed the It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, the adaptation of the Stephen King book. And I think you and I were a huge fan of It Chapter 1. It Chapter 2 kind of had its ebbs and flows, but there is a lot. He's handling a huge multiversal conflict here with the Flash. There's a lot that has already gone wrong with the production. There's a lot that could go wrong with the story here. But from some of the buzz we heard coming out of CinemaCon, it looks like all parties involved have been able to bring together a really just incredible opera of events. You have Michael Keaton returning as Batman, also Ben Affleck. Then Supergirl is in this, Michael Shannon returning as General Zod. There's also rumors potentially of Nicolas Cage as Superman making a cameo from the multiverse. And, of course, if you...
I would be up for that. Yeah, I would be up for that, man.
If you keep up with the show, you know that I'm just, somewhat of a fan of Nicolas Cage. He's all right. But, yeah... apparently, Tom Cruise has seen the finished cut of this film, and he loved it. He said it was the movie we need right now, and Tom Cruise is basically the voice of blockbuster cinema, and if he says that, I'm going to take his word for it. So I'm pretty pumped. Everybody around the world has kind of gone through various stages of how cautious do we want to be with our confidence in this project, but at this point, I have pretty good faith in it. So.
Yeah, I would say that for me this summer, I could probably count on my hand, 5 films that I really want to see for one reason or another. And The Flash is definitely one of those. And the trailers are amazing. And every time I see a new trailer, I'm scared to look at it because I really want to experience many of those things for the first time when I go to see it in a theater. So when that invite comes, you can guarantee I'm going to be one of the first in line to see that. The Flash does open in theaters, wide release, June the 16th. Also June 16th, it's kind of rare to see 2 films that we're going to talk about releasing the same day, but this one is definitely a different audience. It is a film that's got some sci-fi elements, but Wes Anderson, you and I both really love his style because he is so distinctive. He is so distinctive in everything he does. You really see his stamp on it, especially the color palettes that he chooses. And there's a movie called Asteroid City that has a little bit of a sci-fi element to it. It follows these stargazers who were visited by aliens in a place in the desert. You call it, it's called Asteroid City. So hijinks, chaos, some fun mayhem, only the way Wes Anderson can provide that, and that's coming out June the 16th.
Yeah, you use the word disdainful, which isn't actually a word. However, I think we can find a way to weave it in here because a lot of Wes Anderson's characters are quirky individuals, and someone from one of his movies might use the word disdainful with 100% confidence and just think that's the way the word is supposed to be used. So
Exactly.
I'll just say that's what you were doing right there. You thought you were a Wes Anderson character yourself. So yeah.
Well, we're going to go with that word. Or it also sounds like a word that would have come out of the Glass Onion film as well. So
yeah. Edward Norton's character would have used that as well. Yeah, you're right.
That's right. All right. So what else have we got? We got something else June 16th, right? More animation, Thomas.
Oh wow. We have Elemental, which is this a Pixar or Disney animation?
It is. It is Pixar. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So honestly, I know very little about this film, but one of my friends texted me a few weeks ago. Was like, "Yeah, the Elemental trailer dropped." I was like, "Elemental, is that a Marvel thing?" I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on here.
Well, the storyline is the world of elements must learn how to live together in the same crowded urban environment. So that's kind of what this is like. Well,
Okay.
I tell you, when I saw the trailer, at first I thought this was a sequel to Inside Out because of the way that the characters were created. I thought it was an Inside Out sequel, and I'm like, oh no, it's not. It's something completely different and completely new. It also this is a film, and Pixar does this, Thomas, so well that they speak to things that are happening within society. They get us to think and talk a little bit. And this one, I think, will really look at race relations in a way that's done a bit differently. So Elementals, that's also opening on June the 16th. A lot of films opening that particular weekend. And Thomas, I know you and I both want to talk about this. Every summer you've got to have what's called a summer sex comedy. And No Hard Feelings is coming out on June the 23rd. Do you want to dive in on that? We're talking about Jennifer Lawrence. And based on a true story as well.
Now that I did not know. That makes this even wilder. Let me say, there's just a joke in the trailer about a dachshund dog, which you saw a dachshund a minute ago. And it's not a line I'm going to repeat here. But if you want to go watch the Red Band trailer, then you'll know it when you hear it. It looks like Jennifer Lawrence is just having a blast with this film, and it really is fun to see her do some comedy and show off that side of her acting chops. She's been nominated for 4 Oscars. She went on a crazy run in the 2010s, and then she kind of stepped away for a little bit, but now she is coming back, and it's fun to kind of see this new era of her career. Also in this film we have Matthew Broderick, Ferris Bueller himself, and so yes, this looks like this could be something in the vein of like a Superbad or or a Booksmart, which was itself kind of a play on Superbad. That's going to hit those same general audience members in that bracket, and so I think I do think with the films like this made for pretty low budget, but they find their audience and they their budget back quite a bit. So
yeah, I think every summer there's one of these films, and some people would call them raunchy comedies or adult comedies, and it is that, but it focuses on the coming of age story of either one or several of the characters, and that's what this story is about. Jennifer Lawrence is hired by this wealthy couple to kind of help their 19-year-old son find his way in life beyond. He's very introverted, and they basically say, yeah, anything that you want to do with him, you can. And so they kind of put that out there. And so the trailer is really amazing. And we've seen Jennifer Lawrence, who can do anything. I mean, she can do action. We've seen that. I mean, she spent time in Shelby, North Carolina, living in this area, working in this area for the Hunger Games. We've seen the dramatic side. We have seen her do comedy as well. We've seen her do satire, and this is just pure comedy, and it's one I'm looking forward to. I think it's going to be one of those just kind of fun films. You know what you're going in for, and I think you'll come out on the other side appreciating that. No hard feelings, and the release date for that particular movie is on June the 23rd. Well, Thomas, we do have time, I think, to talk about one more before we wrap, or do you want to save this one and start this one that has a little bit of adventure for next part 2 of summer movie previews?
Oh yeah, we can tease that. We'll open up the next show talking about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, because I definitely don't want to be rushed talking about that one.
Yeah.
And so yeah. We'll just tease that here, and you can be looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, summer is a time that we all enjoy going to the theaters. It's really designed in so many ways for that cultural group community experience, and it has been going back to the 70s when Jaws became that first must-see summer blockbuster that everybody had to see, and it changed the game. And so every summer we have to talk about it, and we missed out on a little bit of that during COVID, and so many people were like, oh, I miss going to the movies, especially during the summer. And last summer we saw it creeping back in. No, it came back in with truly, high octane as we saw Top Gun come in and really pave the way for what the rest of the summer had to bring to us. And so there's a lot of excitement this summer, a lot of things happening. It may be one of those, Thomas, that I'm not going to say it's going to be a record-breaking summer, but I think it's probably going to surprise a lot of people, because we're going to see people deciding to come back who maybe set out last summer or like, okay, I'm ready. I'll leave you with a movie quote of the week. This comes from 1991's film Barton Fink, directed by Joel Cohen, screenplay by Ethan and Joel Cohen. I got to tell you, the life of the mind, there's really no roadmap for that territory, and exploring it, it can be painful. So there you go with movie quote of the week from the Cult Movie Quote Book. Did I say that right? The Cult Movie Quote Book. So until next time, we do appreciate you spending time with us right here on Meet Me at the Movies. You can email us at info@c19.tv. You can listen to the radio and the podcast version just by going to wg.org. And for all of us at C19 TV, the cast and crew, we appreciate you. And until next time, for Thomas, I'm Noel T. Manning II. That's a wrap.
Many films to view until we meet again. Next time we see you, we'll gladly fill you in. We'll tell about the happy and the sad ones. We'll talk about the good ones and the bad ones. Many films to view till we meet again.